Let's get some more analysis, and we can cross to Tel Aviv and speak to Yohanan Tzoreff, who is a senior researcher at the Institute for National Security Studies. Can I just start by picking up on a couple of things we've heard from Hamas in the last half hour or so? One, they say they're ready to start talking about a truce. The other is this threat of executing Israeli hostages for each attack carried out on civilian areas of Gaza. What are your thoughts? What does that tell us at this stage?
Look, there is a lot of attack from the Israeli aircraft. Israel is preparing for a large attack against Gaza, and the attack of the aircraft now is preparing for this issue. Hamas is suffering a lot from this attack, and they are afraid of the continuation of these activities of the aircrafts. So they are trying to deteriorate Israel from continuing attacking Gaza Strip. I think this is the way they're trying to stop. I'm not sure they are going to do it because they know exactly that Israel has also a lot of Hamas activities in its end. So I'm not sure they will be so hurry to implement what they are talking about.
So what does Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu do next, given this hostage dimension?
Look, I think that at the end of the day, we will reach to a deal or something that will bring back all these hostages. It's not an easy thing. We are in a new period in our relationship with Hamas. It's not the same confrontation that we had before. Hamas changed the rule of the game because they killed so many civilians in a very cruel way, like Daesh. So nobody can ignore what happened here. And I think that we have to think about the relationship between Israel and Hamas in other ways, comparing to what were before this attack of Hamas.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seems, given what's happened and given what you're saying, that Hamas really is not a suitable partner at any stage, even in the future, in the quest for peace. And clearly that pushes the whole idea of a two-state solution far into the distance, doesn't it?
Well, I'm not sure about it. Nobody knows what will be the results of this confrontation. We are still in the beginning. Hamas tried to stop all the efforts that we saw till last week in the level of the international relationship between United States and Saudi and Israel and Saudi Arabia. It tried to stop the efforts to reach to a normalization. Also, Hamas is trying to decrease the ability or the power of Abu Mazen, who sits in Ramallah. It's want to replace Abu Mazen, to change his regime. And I think that what Hamas did in this attack, first of all, it unified the Israeli society. You know, there was a lot of internal confrontation in Israel between the part of its society. And now it unified the Israeli society. There is no more demonstration in Israel. It stopped. Also, the reform that our government want to do in the legislative level is stopped now. So I think that all this kind of change will bring us to the conclusion that something must be changed in the near future. Okay, Hamas cannot be the power who will has the veto rights in all this relationship. And I think that we have to wait to see how it's going to develop.
And I think that maybe just as my last question, but I mean, I think you're really agreeing in a way with a comment I read attributed to Professor Victor Friedman, who's at Jezreel Valley College in Israel, cited in the New York Times. He said, this horrid situation is still an opportunity. That's sort of what you're saying, isn't it?
Look, if you compare the situation to what happened in 1973 in the war of this year with Egypt, at the end of this war, we reached to peace agreement with Egypt. The question is, what about Hamas? Do you think that Hamas is a group, organization that can be available to sign peace with Israel? This is a big question. I'm not sure that it is the same. It is the same situation. Anwar Sadat, who was the president of Egypt at that time, is not the same person as the leadership of Hamas. It's something else. But if something will change in this after this confrontation, and Hamas will be weaker than it is today, maybe it will give the other Palestinian power the ability to reach to agreement with Israel.
Okay, well, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. Yohanan Tzoreff, senior researcher at the Institute for National Security Studies. Thank you so much for your time.